In Total Retail's recent ranking of the top 100 fastest growing retailers, Chewy.com tops the list. How did the online pet food and supplies retailer post an impressive 37% sales increase for its 2019 fiscal year? And what other companies made the list? Find out in the Top 100 Fastest Growing Retailers report, a ranking of publicly traded companies based on year-over-year net sales growth. Download the Top 100 Fastest Growing Retailers report today by going to mytotalretail.com/resources.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan of Total Retail, and today I am joined by Jonathan Wahl, who is the co-founder and CEO of Abbio, which is a new direct-to-consumer kitchenware brand that has a mission to inspire home cooks through a combination of accessible, professional-grade cookware, unique recipes, and educational tools. Jonathan is going to talk to us today a little bit about the brand and tell us its kind of growth story and kind of the future of the kitchenware business. So thank you for joining me today, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So let's get started by having you briefly tell our audience a little bit about Abbio for those that might not be familiar with it.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, Abbio is a direct-to-consumer kitchenware brand. We are very much focused on making pro-quality kitchenware, starting with our essential 5-piece cookware set, but specifically designed for home cooks. We want to inspire home cooks to make great meals at home for themselves and for the people that they care about.
And how about your professional background? Did you come from a culinary background or retail, or is this completely kind of a new venture for you?
A little bit of both. My childhood was very much immersed in food, and I should stop there and preface this by saying that my brother is my co-founder in this business. His name is Eric, and we grew up together in Seattle in a family that was extremely passionate about food. We spent a lot of time in the kitchen cooking with my mom growing up, spent a lot of time thinking about food, spent a lot of time making food, spent a lot of time eating food. And so at some point in my career, it seemed like there would be a natural extension that I should do something in the food space. And there was a moment after college where Eric and I were living together, and we were starting to host dinner parties and doing a lot of home cooking together, where we went out to replace our cookware. And we were really frustrated by the experience. We were overwhelmed by the number of low quality products that were available for sale. We were overwhelmed by the number of high quality or seemingly high quality products that were available for sale. And we inevitably had no idea what to buy, where to get it, or how much to pay. And that was the moment at which we realized there was a real opportunity and we needed to go tackle it.
Yeah, that's a kind of a story you hear from a lot of entrepreneurs and founders that, personal need has led to the start of their business, and sounds like that's the case for you and your brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously we're, operating in unprecedented times now with the COVID-19 pandemic and how the impact that's had on many different industries, retail included. Can you tell us a little bit about the impact it's had on Abbio's business? And I would imagine as, more consumers stay at home, they're making meals at home, they're going out to restaurants, they're going out, less and less. It's probably had some sort of, such an impact on your business, but you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. As devastating as COVID has been for the market in general and the economy, it has definitely been a boon to us and to home goods, I think retailers in general. Initially, our target customer was someone who has a growing interest in home cooking, but is not necessarily a pro. These are customers that often tend to be experiencing transitional moments in their lives where home cooking becomes more of a focus. So for example, you're moving into your first apartment after college, you're moving in with a significant other, you're getting married, you're buying a home. And all of those moments and those customers still represent our core, but then COVID happened. And now there's an entire country full of customers who never anticipated that they'd be able to discover the joy and the benefits of home cooking. And they never anticipated that they'd want to invest in high quality cookware until they started doing it every single day. So COVID has really transformed our business from that perspective. And we went through a 3-month period in Q2 where our traffic and our revenue doubled month over month for 3 straight months.
So that sounds like it's a great thing. And obviously, no business is going to turn away traffic and sales. But I imagine there's some logistical challenges that have to be worked out, potentially some reworking of your marketing if you're attracting this new audience that you might not have been messaging with before. And do you want to tell us a little bit about internally what that meant for the business, this kind of surge in traffic that you had?
It actually didn't cause us to make much of a shift. And I think that's as a result of what our marketing and branding strategy was to begin with. I'll talk about that a little bit. I've spoken to a lot of founders who kind of swear by one channel. They'll say, oh, paid search is the best strategy. The potential to reach and market customers at the bottom of the funnel is the best. It's better than any other channel. Or another founder might say, lookalike audiences on Facebook, that's where the money is at. That's where I invest all of my dollars. But being dependent on a single channel, whether it's Instagram or SEO or Amazon, obviously puts you at a huge amount of risk and puts you at the mercy of others. What happens when Google changes their algorithm or Shopify releases a new feature that allows you to seamlessly launch new campaigns with a couple of clicks and not a lot of other knowledge? It really kills your strategy if you were dependent on that channel. So then to back up to Abbio again for a moment, we have tested everything, but we've really focused on the channels where customers are going to find us when they're ready for cookware. And I think the results speak for themselves when you search for Abbio and related terms in search. We emphasized a lot of gifting and product seeding and influencers. And I don't just mean on social, I mean people in the world of cookware to help us validate and speak to the quality of the Abbio product so that when a customer is ready to upgrade their cookware, they will find us.
So we've spoken a little bit about the current market situation with consumers, increasing their amount of cooking that they're doing in their homes. But what about kind of the future of the kitchenware sector? Where do you kind of see it going as consumers, hopefully down the line we, have a vaccine and we move on from the pandemic, and where do you kind of see the market heading specific to kitchenware?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we firmly believe that home cooking saves you time, saves you money, and brings you closer to the people that you care about. But I also recognize that it can be a bit scary and intimidating if you've never done it before. So inadvertently, COVID was actually the nudge that many of our customers needed to start cooking at home regularly and develop some of the basic home cooking skills that make cooking fun and enjoyable. So I actually think that COVID is going to lead to an ongoing growth in the kitchenware space. And I feel more optimistic than ever about the sector as a result.
So optimistic about the sector, you see a growth opportunity. There's competition though, obviously, in the marketplace. What does Abbio do different, or how can it position itself differently from other cookware brands that are out there to win increased market share?
At the end of the day, the most important thing for us and for the end consumer is the quality of the product. And like we always talk about internally, yeah, you can cook with anything, but you will cook better with Abbio. So there's a couple of points to speak about on that note. The first is that our focus on simplicity has allowed us to curate a set that performs every single function that you need for stovetop cooking without inundating the customer with things that you don't need, especially for people who have limited space in their homes. And what we see in the market is a lot of brands selling, unfortunately, inferior products at very inflated prices. Brands that are relying solely on the power of their marketing prowess, whereas we're focused on the product and the quality of the product, and we think that's going to win out in the long run. To talk about a couple of product-specific features, which I think are really important, the first is the underlying construction of the pans, which are tri-ply. And without getting into too much detail, that is the best combination of performance and durability for a home cook, especially for somebody that doesn't want to invest a fortune in cookware. The second thing that's really important about our product and lends itself to our customer is our nonstick coating. It's extremely durable and it lasts 10 times longer than the products that our customers tend to be cooking with at home or cooking with prior to Abbio. And all throughout the development process, and even to this day, we are listening to our customers and iterating. One thing that I found out really early on, which was kind of an interesting anecdote, is that the classic shape of the premium cookware handle is flat and it has a groove on the top, almost like a notch. And I realized from talking to pro chefs that it was designed for them because they like that style of handle for sliding pans around on a 16 burner industrial stove in a restaurant setting. But if you're a home cook and you're not managing 16 pans on a 16 burner stove at the same time, and you don't need the ultimate efficiency, but what you want is ergonomic comfort, then unfortunately that classic style handle, which everyone has copied over and over again, is really uncomfortable. So we amassed a giant pile of prototypes and found the most comfortable one, again, for a home cook in a home cook setting. And it's the details like that that really separate us from the rest of the competition.
So now that we have some information about the products themselves, let's talk about how you're selling and distributing those products. And specifically, let's get into direct-to-consumer a little bit. Do you want to tell us a little bit about some of your different sales channels and why direct-to-consumer has been a priority for Abbio since it's launched?
Yeah, absolutely. So direct-to-consumer is interesting because as kind of as a concept that's become very popular over, let's say, the last 10 years. For Abbio, direct-to-consumer is simultaneously the best and the only channel where we could launch and be successful. It's the best channel because I get to have a direct conversation with my customer about their current cookware. I get to learn about their home cooking habits. I get to talk to them about how Abbio will improve their home cooking experience. And then I get to inspire them through educational recipes, videos, tutorials, etc. And then for all those same reasons, it's also the only channel where we could launch and be successful. If I put Abbio on the shelves of a big box retailer, or even in a specialty kitchenware store while we're still young and new, I would be relying on the brightness of our packaging or some weird colors or even an excellent salesperson to steer a home cook away from a 15-piece disposable set of cookware and steer them to Abbio instead. And obviously that's not something that we're willing to do.
So as you're driving then traffic to your website, and that's going to be your vehicle for transactions, you want to create obviously a seamless shopping experience, convenient, quick, easy, but also, to your point, you need to kind of do for some of your first time, cooks and people in the situation where they're getting cookware for their first time, you probably need to do some education as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing on your website to kind of create that seamless digital shopping experience that consumers are looking for?
Sure. So the first part of the customer journey on the website is really answering the question, why Abbio? We are fundamentally asking our customers to invest in quality cookware. We're asking them potentially to spend more per piece than they have for any other cookware in their lives. And so the value proposition is very important, and we dedicate a lot of real estate to explaining our technology, the pan construction, the nonstick coating, the design, and all of the decision points that went into delivering to you the essential 5 pieces that you need for a fabulous home cooking experience. And then once we've converted you, once you're an Abbio customer, we really want you to be loyal for life. And that goes beyond any physical product that you can buy from us. That's where we need to provide you with the inspiration and the education that you need in order to become a more confident home cook and really enjoy your time in the kitchen, which is what we're all about.
And then how about We talked a little bit about marketing and some of the different strategies and tactics there, but Abbio is diversifying its marketing mix, and it's doing that to create some brand awareness, drive customer acquisitions. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on how you continue to market the brand and grow it as this opportunity exists during the pandemic.
Yeah, so a bit like I mentioned before, we've tested all of the marketing channels that you would expect from a direct-to-consumer brand, and probably that a few that you haven't. And we're not tied to one specific strategy or recipe, no pun intended, as the landscape is changing all of the time. So we evolve, we grow with it. And like I mentioned before, our focus is on channels and strategies where customers are going to find us, and we're going to get to own our customer at the end of the day, which again is why having Abbio in the hands of everyone from bloggers with small loyal followings to professional chefs to a master chef champion is really, really important, because it's letting other people validate the quality of the product for our customer.
And then finally, Jonathan, as the CEO of the company, I'm interested in where your attention is focused as you look to kind of continue the momentum that Abbio has created this year as we move into Q4 and in 2021 as well.
Great question. So the good news is that we are in a vast product opportunity space, meaning the kitchen. We started with the core essential thing that you need in order to have success in your home kitchen, which is a great set of cookware. But that does not limit us in any way. And in fact, we want to be the go-to brand for all of your kitchen essentials. And that is unfortunately all I can say for now.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Jonathan Wahl, who is the co-founder and CEO of Abbio, for telling us a little bit about his brand today. So thank you for joining us, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
For a glimpse into how leading retailers have managed to grow sales and adapt to shifting consumer behavior, download Total Retail's Top 100 Fastest Growing Retailers report. Go to mytotalretail.com/resources.